Okay, hello everybody. We are at Act 3, Scene 4 of Macbeth. And if the previous scene with the murder of Banquo was the turning point in terms of plot, which I told you it was, so it is. This one, most people would say, is a turning point in terms of Macbeth's character. We've seen hints of him kind of cracking. Now we'll see the next step. This scene is also probably this scene is just awesome. It's the most exciting one in film. It's the one where the staging is got the most going on. There's probably three super famous scenes from Macbeth. One is the dagger scene, ones that people all remember, even if they haven't really seen it or read it in a million years. The dagger scene, this one, and then another one in Act 5 involving Lady Macbeth. So, remember, scene 3 ended with the murderers deciding to go tell Macbeth how the the murder of Banquo went, and now we are, remember, at this banquet that Macbeth and Lady Macbeth said was going to be happening tonight. This, sorry, this big banquet where we've got Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Ross, Lennox, lords and attendants, a bunch of people there. Okay, so Macbeth is saying, you all know your own degrees, meaning your ranks, so sit down, and there's a certain order that they're supposed to sit down there. They say thanks, and he says, our self will mingle with society and play the humble host. So he's saying, he's going to come down off his throne and mingle with the guests. And he talks about Lady Macbeth. Okay. They're all welcoming everybody, but he doesn't want to sit down yet. He's actually nervous. He wants to hear from the murderers. He's looking around usually for word of how the murder of Banquo went. And here comes the first murderer to the door. And so he's there. And then Macbeth tells everybody else, both sides are even. He's talking about the table. I'll sit in the middle. Okay, guys, just give me a minute, and then we'll drink a measure. I'll do a toast with you, but I need to go talk to this guy. And so then he goes off and talks quietly to the murderer who's at the door, and he says, "There's blood upon thy face." And the murderer says, "It's Banquo's then." And Macbeth has this creepy good line, "'Tis better thee without than he within," meaning it's better on the outside. It looks better on the outside of your skin than inside of his. So he's glad that happened. "Is he dispatched? My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him." Ooh. Okay. And Macbeth says, "Thou art the best of the cutthroats." I don't know if he invented that word there either, but anyway, it's kind of cool. "Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil," like without compare, you are the best. So now he asks, remember, about this all-important other piece of the murder plan, which was Fleance. And now I do not envy this murderer's position of having to tell Macbeth, "My royal sir, Fleance has escaped." Macbeth now aside to the camera, to us, the audience, says, "Here then comes my fit again." My fit, like he's had this feverish condition that was gonna be okay. I had else been perfect. Okay, I would have been whole as marble, founded as the rock, if you had told me that Fleance and Banquo were finally dead, because then he wouldn't worry about that witch's prophecy anymore. Okay, but now I am cabined, cribbed, and confined, bound in to my saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo safe, meaning safely dead. I, my good lord, safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes on his head. The language in this play is just kind of gruesome, okay? And then he says, "Well, thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies." Banquo is the grown serpent. The worm, the baby snake that's fled, hath nature that in time will venom breed, but has no teeth for the present. So why is he not seem super worried about Fleance yet? He doesn't have teeth yet. Fleance is too young to form an actual physical threat to Banquo right now. So he's basically saying, "I'll deal with him later, okay? Tomorrow we'll talk to you again." So the murderer leaves, okay? Lady Macbeth says, "My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold. Come join the party, okay?" Now, what happens here? Ooh, okay, this is part, like I said, this is what this play is super famous of. Like what it says in the stage directions. "Enter the ghost of Banquo." And he sits in that seat in the middle. There's two sides of a long table where Macbeth was saying he was going to sit. He sits in his seat. Oh, yeah. Okay. So You can see what I meant when I said we saw him start to crack, and this is the turning point in his character. Okay, so how is Macbeth going to deal with this? Now he doesn't see him yet. He's still talking to his wife. Okay, he's like, oh, thanks for reminding me. Okay, now good suggestion. We have an appetite, health on both. All right, they want to have a toast and then have a meal. Lennox says, sit down, please, Your Highness. And he says, here had we now our country's honor roofed. It's like horribly hypocritical and awful. He says, if only were the graced person of our Banquo present, whom may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance, which means I hope that we are just going to challenge him and say, hey, that was kind of unkind of you not to show up or to show up late to the banquet. I sure hope that that's what we end up doing instead of pitying him for mischance, meaning feeling bad that something maybe bad happened to him while he was traveling. Sure hope that's not the case. So, of course, since we know there's more of that device here, which has been in almost every scene of dramatic irony, and pretty awful that Macbeth is saying that, but it comes back to him now in this scene, okay? Ross says, yeah, it's kind of rude of him not to show up, okay? Please grace us with your royal company. And this is a creepy line. The table's full. It's not, though. But he's just looking at it from afar, and he sees heads in every seat, and so the one of them is Banquo's ghost, right? And Lennox says, here's a place reserved, sir. He says, where? He goes, here, my good lord. And then right here, something must happen, because after this, Lennox says, what is it that moves, your highness? He must look moved. Now, he looks more than moved, because what did he just see? The ghost of Banquo. So he sees the ghost in that moment right there. And the first thing he says before he completely loses his mind is, which of you have done this? This is a kind of interesting thing. In some ways, it's a study of people in power who do bad things, get caught lying, are plagued by guilt, and his first instinct is to blame somebody else for somehow pulling some trick on him or something. Okay? Which of you have done this? What, my good lord, they all say. Now he's talking to the ghost. So now we'll see a change in Macbeth. Up till now, when he's behind closed doors, Lady Macbeth, we've seen him kind of say, oh, full of scorpions is my mind, and I wish I were dead, and I can't sleep, and all these things. But now he's straight up talking to a ghost in front of everybody. And he says, thou canst not say I did it. Did what? Yeah, killed Banquo. Never shake thy gory locks at me. Oh, one of the most famous lines in the whole play. I love it so much. It's so creepy. Locks means locks of hair. Gory locks meaning that they're all like matted with blood. So this looks like a murdered corpse Banquo ghost, okay? And what is he doing? When he says you can't say I did it, in a lot of movies we see the ghost pointing at Macbeth, saying you did this to me. And then when Macbeth says thou canst not say I did it, Banquo should have to shake his head, because then Macbeth tells him to stop shaking his head. I'm not an actor. Gentlemen, okay, so now they see that he's talking to somebody who's not there, okay, and freaking out. All right, Ross says, gentlemen, rise. His Highness is not well. They see something's wrong. Ross is trying to protect him. He's like, we should probably go. Now, what's Lady Macbeth going to do? She tries to save everything and calm it all down. Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus. Ooh, quick thinking. Watch this. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. So what is she trying to convince them? He has some sort of, thing that's been happening to him since he was a kid, where he sometimes hallucinates and has some sort of weird fit. And the best thing to do is to not talk to him, just ignore him, and then he'll come back in a minute. Pretty quick thinking from Lady Macbeth. Now, does she know what he's seeing there? Probably not. She doesn't know that he killed Banquo. There were some hints in that previous couple scenes, but anyway. Then she draws Macbeth aside. She pulls him aside and says, hey, her most powerful weapon, her greatest taunt. Are you a man? Remember, she did this before. Are you a man? And he says, yeah, and a bold one, too, that dare looks on that which might appall the devil. It's a great comeback. I must be really bold, because I'm looking at something that would scare the devil. Now look what she says. Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. So she knows you're hallucinating some fear. This is The air-drawn dagger, which you said led you to Duncan. So he told her about that. And now she's like, this is just another one of your hallucinations, just like that dagger you told me about. Oh, these flaws and starts, imposters to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter fire authorized by her grandam. Shame itself. Okay? So she's calling him, she's like, this would make sense for like some womanly ghost story or something, but stop it. Why do you make such faces? So the actor of Macbeth, while this is happening, should be still looking at Banquo's ghost and making appalled faces because he's just overcome with fear, panic, okay? She say, when all's done, you look but on a stool. She's like, why are you making those faces? You're looking at a stool. He says, please, prithee, see there, behold, look. She's begging Lady Macbeth, look, don't you see? And then he says to the ghost, hey, you talk, how say you? What do you say? Why, what care I? If thou canst nod, speak too. If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites. Confusing metaphor there, but basically he's like, hey, if graves can send back those that we bury, so there he's maybe giving another hint to Lady Macbeth as to what he sees. This is someone that I buried who now has come back. This is not good. What are you quite unnamed? Oh, so the ghost exits there. All right, so that's good. Quite unnamed and folly. She's like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, I saw him. Shame. Great poetry here. Blood hath been shed ere now. Blood has been shed before now. But in the olden time, before human statute purged the gentle wheel, and this is about society, and don't worry about it. And since too, murders have been performed too terrible for the ear. There have always been murders, but the time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die. Right? That's the way it used to be, and they're an end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns. He's clearly thinking about what the murderer told him at the beginning of the scene, right? And they push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is. So he's saying a lot to Lady Macbeth right there. She maybe is figuring it out, I don't know, but she says, hey, your noble friends do lack you. You're missing the party. So she is not yelling at him now. She's trying to get him to show some normalcy again. And now he comes back. I do forget. All right, now this is an embarrassing moment, right? Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. Okay, don't look at me. Don't worry about it. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. It's no big deal. Come, love and health to all. I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill full. So he fills up a goblet of wine. He's going to toast everybody and be good with it, all right, and come back to normal. While he's saying this, you can see who's coming back. Now, this is where he pushes it, right? This is where Macbeth should just make a toast, try to regain his composure, but instead he drinks to the general joy of the whole table. But what else does he toast? He toasts to Banquo. Pushing it, I said, to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Now that could mean a couple things, obviously. We miss him, he's not here at the party. But maybe now Lady Macbeth knows what he really means. And think about the actor saying it. When we watch it, you'll see how he does it. Whom we miss. Because that's true, isn't it? Would he were here, if only he were here. Oh, okay. So they rise in the toast, they toast, they clink their glasses, okay? Now he sees the ghost again, and he's just back to crazy. Avaunt, get out of here, quit my sight. He's not creeped out, freaking out anymore, but he's just kind of, let's see, what's different here? Let the earth hide thee, thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. You can't see with those eyes, and you glare with me. Stop it. Okay, so now Lady Macbeth, what you doing here? She's not trying with him anymore. She's talking to the Lord, and she's saying, think of this, good peers, as a thing of custom, 'tis no other. It's just kind of annoying, spoils our pleasure. Macbeth continues to the ghost of Banquo. What man dare I dare? Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the Hyrcan tiger. He's saying, I'll come up against you like you're any of these beasts, okay? Take any shape but that. That's what he begs him. If you took the shape of a bear, I'd fight you. Any shape but that, the dead corpse of Banquo, and my firm nerve shall never tremble, or be alive again. Come back to life and dare me and challenge me to a duel to the desert with your sword. If trembling I inhabit, then protest me the baby of a girl. So if after you come to life and challenge me, I'm still trembling, then you can call me a girl baby, all right? Get out of here, horrible shadow. Get gone. Unreal mockery, hence, be gone. So he's gone, okay? And he says, close the door, please. Sorry about that. Why? Okay, so he leaves. Why so, being gone, I am a man again. It's like, oh, okay, the ghost is gone. Feeling good now. But Lady Macbeth says, too late. You displaced the mirth. Mirth means happiness. You displaced it. You broke the good meeting with most admired disorder. And he's like, he's not even talking to the lords anymore. He's talking to her. Can such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think that you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear. Meaning, like, how are you able to see all that and still see normal? Now you're making me feel like I am not a man. Because if you saw that, but you seem okay, that what's wrong with me? Now, she said, now Ross over here, he's speaking out loud. The other lords can hear him, and they're like, what sights? What did you see? What's happening? Now we get a clue that maybe, well, tell me, she says, I pray you, speak not. So why is she telling Ross not to speak? Okay. I think she probably guessed what Macbeth saw at that moment, putting all the clues together, and doesn't want him to answer that question because she doesn't trust that Macbeth wouldn't answer the question. All right. So she says, he's getting worse. Okay. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Don't worry about the order of how you're supposed to leave. Just go. Go at once. So they cancel the banquet. Okay. Everyone says, okay, good night. Better health to His Majesty. Hope you feel better, Your Majesty. Okay, good night to all, and they all leave. All right, so now the end of the scene is just Macbeth and his wife. This is a great line, okay? It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. What's that mean? Blood will lead to more blood. That's what's happening now. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Okay, all creepy stuff. What time is it? She says it's almost morning. Okay, and now he's talking about something else. Did you say that Macduff denied his person at our great bidding? Meaning, did you tell me that Macduff refused to come to the party? She says, did you send him? Did you send him an invite? She goes, yeah, but I heard, by the way, that he wasn't going to come. He explains how he heard that. There's not a one of them, a lord, but in his house I keep a servant feed. Meaning I pay somebody in every one of my lords and thanes' houses to be a spy. Now, next part of the plan. All this is really to set up what's going to happen in the next acts. Okay, talking about Macduff is going to become more important in the next act. And here, talking about the witches again. Okay, he says, "I will tomorrow back to the weird sisters. More shall they speak. For now, I am bent to know. By the worst means the worst. I gotta know. I gotta know what's going to happen here. For mine own good, all cause shall give way. I am in. Look at this part. I am in blood, stepped in so far, that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er." That's a line I'll ask you to do some thinking about. All right, very important for his state of being right now. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned. Another key difference from before. Okay, I have strange things in my head that will to my hand, which must be acted before they may be scanned, which I think means kind of stopped. That's different. Lady Macbeth, now here in her last line of the scene, does not try to talk any sense into him. Why? I think she's kind of given up on him. He seems gone. Her only hope is, you need sleep. You haven't slept in days. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse that's his like weird hallucin. Now he realizes that he was doing something weird. Is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are but young indeed, which means an evil deed. So what's he explaining as to why he's having such a hard time? We're new at this. We'll get better at murder, and then it won't affect us so much. Oh, okay. That is the end of scene 4 of Act 3. The Banquo's ghost scene is what it's usually called. Okay. Well done, everybody. See you next time. Goodbye.